Good evening and welcome to World News at 4. I am Ainan Lubem. First, let's talk the headlines. On the headlines, Buhari departs Abuja for Senegal. Guinea authorities arrest opposition members. Suspect charged with murder over July attacks. On sports, Pogba set to rejoin Juventus on a free transfer. And now the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari has today departed Abuja for Dakar, the Senegalese capital, to participate in the International Development Association for Africa Summit. According to a statement signed on Wednesday by his senior special assistant on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, the president is expected to join other African leaders in an open dialogue on development, challenges and priorities, as well as transformational initiatives that will lead to an outcome document, the Dakar Declaration. The statement is titled President Buhari to attend International Development Association for Africa in Dakar. The president will be accompanied on the trip by some of his cabinet members. The trip comes barely 24 hours after a convoy of cars carrying the advanced team of security guards, protocol and media officers ahead of the president's trip to Daura for Salah came under terrorist attack. Buhari is expected back in the country at the end of the summit on Thursday, July 7th. In the same vein, President Muhammadu Buhari has sworn in 7 new ministers who now replace former ones that resigned their appointment in May to contest for various political offices. The swearing-in ceremony took place today at the council chambers of the presidential villa in Abuja. The newly appointed ministers and their portfolios are Ikechukwu Iko, Minister of State, Science and Technology; Umana, Minister of Niger Delta Affairs; Udi Odom, Minister of State for Environment; Ademola Adegoroye, Minister of State for Transportation; Umar El Yakub, Minister of State Works and Housing; Goodluck Opia, Minister of State Education; and Nkama Ekukama, Minister of State Health. The new ministers were recently screened and confirmed by the Senate sequel to their nomination by President Buhari in line with constitutional provisions. Their nomination followed the vacuum created by the resignation of some former ministers like Rochimi Amechi, Uche Oga, Goswill Akpabio, and Ogbonnaya Onu, among others who resigned to pursue various political ambitions. Before the swearing-in, a minute's silence was observed in honor of Mohammed Barkindo, the fourth organization of petroleum exporting countries, that is Opec Secretary General, who died at the age of 63 on Tuesday night. Meanwhile, the president chaired a weekly virtual cabinet meeting at the same venue with the new ministers in attendance for the first time. And now to security matters. Attackers of the Abuja-Kaduna-bound AK-9 train have handed down a fresh threat to commence the killing of the remaining 50 hostages within 24 hours. The threat followed an alleged failure of the federal government to seek the release of the remaining hostages. This was just as relatives and friends of the hostages held a peaceful rally in Kaduna today to demand the release of the 50 remaining hostages. Meanwhile, the fresh threat to commence the killing of the hostages was contained in an audio which went viral, where one of the terrorists threatened to slaughter the victims because the government failed to seek for their release. Tukur Mamu, who is also one of the negotiators and media consultant to controversial Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, confirmed the authenticity of the audio to newsmen in Kaduna State. He said the terrorists fixed today to carry out the threat as, according to them, they were provoked by the government on Monday. The leader of the forum, Abdul Fattah Jimo, while addressing journalists, said it was exactly 100 days since their loved ones were attacked and abducted in a journey of 2 hours, appealing to the federal government to do all that was necessary to rescue the remaining hostages from the terrorist den. About 100 fleeing inmates from the QJ Medium Custodial Center in the Federal Capital Territory have been recaptured. According to the Minister of Defense, Bashir Magashi, Boko Haram terrorists who attacked the facility had freed 600 inmates, including 64 of their members held in the custody. Reports stated that 300 of them had been recaptured while efforts were on to bring back the others. However, a prison source confirmed that about 100 more had been recaptured. Minister of Defense Bashir Magashi insisted that 64 Boko Haram members in the correctional center are missing, as suspended police officer Abakari is still in the center's facility. When we return, news from other parts of Africa. Don't go away. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now to news from other African countries. Authorities in Conakry have arrested 3 members of an opposition organization, including its national coordinator, Fonuke Mango, also known as Ormal Slair. The arrest took place on Tuesday during a press briefing held at the headquarters of the coalition that aims for a return to constitutional order. Meanwhile, National Front for the Defense of the Constitution, FNDC, recently threatened to demonstrate against the military junta led by Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya that replaced former President Alpha Conde. The FNDC operations officer Ibrahim Adalu noted that FNDC is a sentinel of democracy and will fight for a return to constitutional order, adding that the coalition orchestrated months of mobilization against former President Alpha Conde, deposed last September. However, Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, rejected this deadline at a meeting in Accra on Sunday without announcing new sanctions against Guinea, which is already suspended from the organization's bodies. Uganda's cabinet has approved the adoption of Swahili as an official language. According to reports, the cabinet also recommended that the teaching of Swahili in primary and secondary school should be made compulsory. Swahili, which originated in East Africa, is one of the world's 10 most widely spoken languages, with about 200 million speakers. The language and its dialects are spoken from parts of Somalia down to Mozambique and across the Democratic Republic of Congo. In a tweeted document, the Ugandan cabinet said the decision followed a directive by the East African Community Bloc to adopt the language to ease communication among member countries. We now move to other parts of the world after this break. Welcome back, and now to other parts of the world. Suspects being accused of opening fire on the 4th of July parade near Chicago have been charged with 7 counts of murder. Officials say the Lake County State Attorney Enrique Reinhardt said the attack in Highland Park left 7 dead and more than 30 others was over. If convicted, the 7 murder counts alone will carry a mandatory sentence, disguising himself as a woman so he could escape alongside fleeing victims. After an 8-hour manhunt on Monday, police arrested the gunman, and it was the rifle like the one he used in the attack. 3 other firearms were also found at his home. Police said the suspect had 2 prior contacts with law enforcement but was still able to purchase 5 guns in the past year. In a statement, Illinois State Police said the suspect's father sponsored his application for a firearm license in December 2019 when he was just 19, but his uncle denied the allegation. And now to the United Kingdom. Boris Johnson has faced the battering at Prime Minister's questions, that is PMQs, today as he desperately tries to is implementing the biggest tax cut in a decade. Tax from Keir Starmer, saying Europe was enduring the biggest war in 80 years and he was getting on with the job. Present Minister Victoria Atkins, City Minister John Glenn, Schools Minister Robin Walker and Children's Minister are any circumstances under which he would quit. World Now at 4 on Hills TV continues after sports news. Worried about future, adding that sterling could fall even further after predictions of economic stagnation and as inflation rises. London shares regained some ground today following Tuesday's falls. According to reports, the resignation of 2 senior government ministers on Tuesday evening, including former Chancellor Rishi Sunak, was not. Still to come is sports. Don't go away. Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, Opec, Mohammed Brashin Mele Kari, in a tweeted post on